Hello and welcome back to today's video. Today we're going to be discussing Tropical Storm Eta and Invest 98L that has a high chance of developing over the next 5 days. If we take a look at Tropical Storm Eta, we can see that it's crossed over Florida and brought heavy rain, and it's going to be bringing heavy rain to the northeast coast of the United States and mainly for North Carolina and South Carolina, where they could see up to 10 inches of rain in some isolated spots. For Tropical Storm Eta now, it's just going to be firing across the Atlantic and then being turned into a post-tropical storm by Saturday, and should be no more of a threat to any land, just mainly fishing areas. If we take a look at Invest 98 today, what we've seen today is a convection actively across the storm, and now we've seen a collapse of those thunderstorms, and we've seen a burst of convection on the south of the system. It looks like a pretty good mid-level center is starting to set itself up on Invest 98, and I expect we could have a tropical depression by tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow night. If we take a look at the vorticity in the 150 millibar level, about 5,000 feet off the ground, we can see that Theta here, it has a very compact vorticity by these high whites and reds. These are your higher vorticity, and we can start to see with Invest 98 we do have a blob of red now starting to show up in a nice compact system, and we do have a nice blob of vorticity around as well. This is good news. This is bad news for Central America and maybe the Yucatan, as some models suggest it could go there, but it's way too fast to say where it will go, as we're going to have steering factors playing a part of that role. But what we are starting to see is some more organisation of the system, and like I said earlier, we could see a tropical depression by tomorrow afternoon or late evening. If we quickly take a look at the wind shear and where this system will be sitting, it's going to be moving into some very favourable conditions. Let me just do that in better colour for you. We'll do that pink. So it's going to be sitting in some good favourable conditions over its 5-day journey, with only 5 to 10 knots of shear predicted. So this is in high sea surface temperatures, upper ocean heat and low wind shear. So this storm has got all the right ingredients to rapidly intensify if it needed to, or it can just travel along and intensify at a steady pace. But it's November and it's shown a few surprises, as we've seen with Eta. If we take a look at the tracks, we can see what I meant by there's some uncertainty with the tracks, as most of the models do bring it in. Let me draw that in a better colour. Most of the models are drawing it into Central America, but the H12 and H1 are bringing it north, as they are thinking the storm's going to be more organised, more stronger than the rest of the models. But we don't know right now because there's actually no storm here yet. So as soon as the low level center forms and we see how strong it gets in the short term, we should know the ventral track, and we should be able to narrow it down by the next, as soon as we get the system starting to organise, we should be able to start to narrow down where this is eventually going to go. If it's a stronger system, it's obviously going to want to try and move a bit more north. If it's a weaker system, it's going to try and just ride the trade winds along the west and come into Central America, where last week they had Major Hurricane Eta, and it dumped a lot of rain here. So these guys do really not need any more rain or storm surge or high winds. But this is going to be possibly a major hurricane in the Caribbean, as some models bring it to major hurricane status. If we take a look at the GFS at the 500 millibar level and geopotential high, we can see the steering flows that are going to be playing a part in this 5-day forecast. If I move it out to when we start to get a storm organised and going, by the next 14 hours the GFS is having a storm, organised storm, and it's now moving. It's moving along by the trade winds and moving west. But what we can see is a upper level disturbance over here that's just going to be sitting over here and moving eventually northwest, and we have a high pressure sitting across the Gulf of Mexico and is moving eastwards, and this storm is going to be riding the edge, as we're just drawing these arrows here. It's going to be riding this edge of this high pressure and generally moving west. If we move out the model a couple more hours, we can start to see where the divergence of track goes. As the GFS is now, GFS is picking up more north-west movement, more as this high pressure is sliding off to the east, and is pushing the storm around its edge like this. So it's going to be riding this outer edge, and if a stronger system is down here, it's going to feel this tilt more to the north, and it generally stronger systems want to move to the north as well, so it's going to try and slide past Central America and go along this edge. But if you see on the GFS, as I go out one more time, you can start to see that this takes more of a southwards dive as we get a high pressure starting to build over Mexico, and with this high pressure, the general steering patterns can be from the south, so this is going to try and push the storm into Central America, where Hurricane Eta made landfall nearly over a week ago. If we carry on the model, we can see this part of the GFS actually just rides the coast of the Central America and then eventually dips into South Central America, as we see on the model. If I go out a few more hours, we can start to see that it rides the coastline and just dips south into Central America. This is just one model suggestion, as I'm going to show you the Euro now, and it has a different solution to the GFS. As we see Tropical Storm Eta over here, sustained winds of 4 miles per hour, moving off to the northeast pretty fast, and it's going to become a pretty strong low-level relevant low over here eventually after the 5-day forecast. If we carry on with the model there, we can start to see by in the next 24 hours the Euro model is getting the system more organised and getting our vorticity more organised, so by this time maybe a potential tropical depression or tropical depression at this time. If we carry on moving out in the model, we can still by the 40-hour mark we have probably a storm by this point, or a tropical depression or potential tropical storm, as the Hurricane Center, as the system is eventually about to become a tropical cyclone, they can start issuing advisories on it. If we carry on by the next, let's go to the 96-hour mark, we can see that the storm has literally just rid the edge of this high pressure that's around here. It's just moved west along this high pressure, and the trade winds are pushing out generally to the west. As we carry on the model, we can see that it's just approaching where Nicaragua, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, it's barreling its way towards there, unfortunately, so another batch of rain and strong winds maybe for this area. If we carry on by the model, we can start by the 144-hour mark. It's made landfall and it's coming out into the Eastern Pacific right now, so, and then it has a chance to reorganize in the Eastern Pacific maybe. If I show you the H-Dwarf power solution, we're looking at the 500 geopotential height and cyclonic vorticity. General cyclonic vorticity is about 18,400 feet in the atmosphere. We can see that the H-Dwarf shows the storm becoming more organised, and by the 33-hour mark we probably have a tropical cyclone by this point. We have a tropical storm by this point, and so we carry out now. We can see this upper level low that I was discussing out in the Atlantic, just north of Lesser Antilles, and the storm is here and it's moving west at the moment. But as we see on this H-Dwarf run, we can see that the storm gets more organised and becomes better, compact and stronger. More compact and stronger. Just gonna keep saying that because it's what's literally happening. But by the 90-hour mark, we start to see this high pressure drifting eastwards, like what the GFS is predicting, as well as the H-Dwarf. As this high pressure is dipping dipping eastwards, moving eastwards, and we got a high pressure that's building back in and over Mexico. But I think it's a bit weaker than the GFS is predicting, and this is going to try and push the storm southwards, like we was talking about on the GFS. But as we can see, that this is a stronger system, so it's going to push more northwards, and by the 126-hour mark, we've got a system near the Yucatan and in the Gulf of Honduras, I think this is, and then probably a potential potential cyclone near Dominican Republic, where they could see some rain from this system and maybe some winds, but it's way too far out to see if this develops, as it's an upper level low at the moment. Yeah, so we can see from this run as we've got high pressure here, but the storm is going to be trying to push north, as this is a strong system and trying to push itself north. If I show you the H1 solution, I think this is the most aggressive out of all of them, in my opinion. You can see this is the 10 millibar wind speed, so this is about just above the surface. And as we carry on going out around to the 24 hours, where we got a decent sized storm. By the 48-hour mark, we got a system nice and organised and good, probably in good, healthy in a core at this point, and this is where we could see rapid intensification occur. So if we carry on going on the model run, we can see that we need to get to 72 hours to get the next thing. By that we've got a better system and is now approaching hurricane intensity as in the next 72 hours. So the H-Wolf and H-Mon are suggesting that northwest movement, as the GFS and Euro are pretty much making it go west, but the GFS is pointing more to the north and then dipping back into Central America once it's rid the coastline. But the H1 is being the most aggressive in my opinion, as we go out, carry on going out to the 120-hour mark. As we get to the 120-hour mark, and we got a system that's now approaching the Yucatan and is sitting in the Gulf of Honduras. I believe that's what it is right there. But what we can see is that we've got a pretty small eye as I draw on the arrows. This is again 11 nautical mile eye, but it does have a small eye as I back this up just a tad bit. Yeah, right here, as we can see, right here we have a maybe 6 or 5 nautical mile wall, so a pin high wall. But what we can probably suggest on this model is that it goes under an eye wall replacement center. As the eye expands, the wind field expands, and then eventually the system tries to build back that small eye wall after that eye wall replacement center goes through and happens. So this storm has got pretty much everything working in its favour. You got the low wind shear that's going to be sitting in the Caribbean for pretty much most of the time. Good sea surface temperatures, good upper ocean heat content, and I do believe this storm could rapidly intensify into a major hurricane in its lifetime. We'll have to see how strong it gets after that, as the track, remember the H-Wolf and H1 are taking it more of a north one. GFS is going west and then brings it north and then dips into Central America, and then Euro taking it generally west and then dips in and then comes out of the Eastern Pacific, where it could possibly try and get its organisation back together. Just a quick 2 notes for myself and for you guys. I do have a Twitter where I give more updates on tropical cyclones. So I'll leave the link in the description below, and the same with the Discord that I'm in. They are very, very nice people, and we answer each other's questions as much as we can. So that's about it in today's video. I'll have another one discussing Investor 98 tomorrow, or tropical depression or storm tomorrow. I'll see you in the next one tomorrow.